Hi, everybody. My name is Nitin, and today we are going to spend some time talking about one of the most desired topic, which apparently is one topic which everybody who's working in the corporate world should pay a lot of heed to. The topic, as you can see here, is time management. Yes, folks, time management is the most asked uh, training in today's environment because we are working in corporate and it's one of the major part of the decorum that is to be maintained within the organization, be it uh, an assignment given to you or a task at hand. If it's not completed in time, then it's futile. Efficiency and effectiveness is kind of assessed based on how quickly you're able to do your work with whole lot of efficiency and effectiveness. And time management plays a vital role in this entire intervention, given the fact that if you are managing your time effectively, then there are a lot of things that you're doing, which we are going to talk about today, uh, which is going to drive the results. And obviously, that's going to lead to success. So I can very much say that time management leads to success. And that is an important, very important aspect of your personality or one of the major soft skills competency that one should hone while you're working in the corporate environment. Irrespective, even if you're not working in the corporate environment, it still becomes very important that you know, take good care of your time, you manage your time well. That is something which is much needed. So let's move ahead and talk about the contents. The content of this training is what is time management? Why do we need time management? How to use time effectively? To process, or rather, the process of time management, which is cost of your time, making activity logs, etc., etc. We're going to talk about all of a whole lot of uh, tools which are available, and then time management matrix. So let's straight away dive into a question, which is what is time management? Can you reduce 24 hours to 26 hours, or rather 23 hours? Or can you increase the number of hours in a day to 26 hours? If you think you cannot do it, then how can we manage time? What does that really mean, managing time? So, folks, managing time is not about reducing or increasing the time. Managing time is about how are we smart with the time that we have at hand? How are we effective with the time that we have at hand? How are we able to manage our activities within the time frame that we have, which is available at hand with us? Now you've got 24 hours in a day. 24 hours will remain 24 hours, out of which you're going to probably sleep for 8 to 9 hours, or maybe 7 to 8 hours, depending on your own personality. Then you're going to work for 8 hours. You're going to spend some time with your family. You're going to go out with your friends. Not quite often, but uh, often than not. And then eventually, you would be left out with a couple of hours at hand, which will be your time. And we're going to talk about how you can utilize that time. So my point is that the time still remains the same. It's just about how you're using it. Let's take an example of an individual on the road who's a beggar, or an individual who is an affluent businessman. They both have same time at hand. The only difference is the cost of time of a businessman, the cost of time of a beggar. There's a remarkable difference between the two, and it is purely because the initial stages, which they were growing up, they did not spend the time uh, that efficiently or effectively to be able to get the required outcome that was needed. Hence, the businessman's time's value or worth is much higher as compared to of the person on the road or the beggar. So time still remains the same. Let's take an example. Dhirubhai Ambani would, or Ambanis or Tatas or Birlas, they are spending same amount of time that we are, but it's just that the time worth is a lot more with them or for them, and what they're doing during that time makes a lot of difference and brings in desired results. So let's look at the time management, or what is time management. It says the time management is an act of taking the time conscious control over the amount of time spent on specific activities. You exercise time management to increase productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency. Time management refers to managing time effectively so that the right time is allocated to the right activity. That is what time management is. If at a given point in time you have to have your lunch, you have to have your lunch. That is there as part of your schedule. If at a given point in time you're supposed to complete an activity, then you are supposed to complete an activity. And that is part of your schedule. And when you allocate that time to your schedule, that is what is going to define or term that is known as time management. So it's about managing your time well, managing your time effectively is about time management. And we're going to spend a lot of time in very basic comprehension. We're going to get a little advanced maybe towards later trainings, but let's just look at the surface level right now and talk about why do we need time management. Everybody needs time management. Everybody needs time management. We all need to manage our time effectively. We are not managing our time effectively. We're killing our time doing a lot of stuff. And in fact, let me pick up an example before I read the slide. We are spending a lot of time, or we are wasting a lot of time on our mobile phones watching reels. Guys, if you don't want to accept it, that's a different ballgame altogether, but that's the reality. We are watching movies, we are watching reels, we are watching Instagram, Facebook, social media. That is killing our time completely. We lie down in the bed. How many times does it happen that you pick up a book and read that book? Answer, you already have. We prefer to spend time on your mobile because that is fun. But are we driving results out of it? May not be. The answer is no. Because we are spending time watching something which is not going to give us any good or any results at all. That is purely wastage of time. While you're watching your reels, I would recommend that you go off to sleep, spend some time sleeping, because that is going to give you a lot of rejuvenation. And that is much needed for our brains to kind of stop working for a little while, so that when we wake up, our brain and mind is fresh, starts working. So what happens is we're watching reels throughout the night. We wake up a little late, or maybe even if we wake up early in the morning due to some reason or circumstances that we have to go to work, etc., we end up feeling dizzy, sleepy. And do you think that you'll be able to be effective in that given scenario? I don't think so. So time management is definitely needed. So to save time, to reduce stress out of our life. How many times does it happen that we are running behind schedule? And what happens when you're running behind schedule? For example, you're going for a movie. And when you're going for a movie, you're late. And you are at a red light, which is not turning green. What happens? We have shaky legs. We have shaky hands. We constantly jogging with ourselves. It needs to turn red. It needs to turn green. It needs to turn green. That's what we keep doing. We're in a panic state of mind, and it's purely because we want to reach somewhere in time. But we did not start in time because we did not plan for it. Hence, we were delayed and late. It adds on to the element of stress. We end up driving fast, which is probably not a great situation to be in. And then eventually what happens? We reach, but we reach late. But while in the entire process of reaching late, think about it, the level of stress that you go through. We need time management to be able to function effectively. If our activities are done in time, then we are going to be very effective. To increase our work output, whatever work we are doing, if we start in time, we will be able to end in time. That's a different situation if in case we have any situation where we are not able to end in time because of some other reason, and time is definitely not the point of concern, then in that given scenario, yes, we are good. But if time is the reason, that means we did not plan, or we did not strategize, or it was not on our to-do list, and that's where we are failing, then it's our failure. That's a time management failure. To have more control over our job responsibilities. So whatever job responsibilities we've been given, we will be able to have more control over our responsibilities and by doing those jobs effectively. And bad time management leads to stress. So guys, a lot of people come to us asking for stress management training. And then when we probe further, we realize the fact that they really don't need a stress management training. The training that they need is time management. Because they are not able to manage their time effectively, it's leading to bad time management. That means it's leading to stress. And that's not a good situation to be in. So let's talk about how to use our time effectively. What all can be done? There are a lot of ways that we can manage our time well, but before even we get it there, my point is, do you really want to get it right? If yes, then only these tools will work for you. These tools will not work until unless you are planning to get your time in good shape or use time management effectively. So, first is effective planning. Then we talk about setting goals and objectives as to where we are heading, where we're going, what is the objective behind whatever we're doing, setting deadlines, delegation of responsibilities, prioritizing activities as per their importance, spending the right time on the right activity. So, those are a few techniques we can use to be able to use our time effectively. And in the process of time management, what is the process of time management? Cost your time. First thing that you need to do is you need to cost your time. Make activity logs. Whatever work you do throughout the day, irrespective, make activity logs for that. You will get to understand that you actually not spending a lot of time doing a lot of productive things. You need to have goals in place. You need to set goals for yourself. You need to get involved in planning, prioritizing, scheduling. If you have not started doing that, that's what you need to do. So let's look at costing our time. Understand the true value by calculating your cost per year. Once you get the cost per year, you need to find out cost per month. Once you get your cost per month, you need to find out your cost per day. Once you get the cost per day, you need to find the cost per hour. Once you're able to identify your cost per hour, you would be in a good position, very good position, to be able to respect that time. Guys, every minute, every tick on the clock is money. It's money, guys. That is how you need to look at your time now. Your time is money. Your time, if you're letting it go, then you're letting the money go. Think about it. Who are people who are successful? The ones who are successful are the ones who have been able to utilize the time or pay a lot of importance and heed to time. If we are not respecting time, our time is also not going to respect us. We will it'll fly away because it doesn't stop for anyone. And that is what one thing we need to know. So cost your time. Then understand the worth of time. In fact, then you will understand the worth of time. There's a possibility there are a lot of people who may have, you know, a number which is 5,000 rupees per hour, 400 rupees per hour, 500 rupees, or maybe 1,000 or 1,500. Doesn't matter. Whatever the number is, wherever you've been able to reach so far, find that number out. You will see the worth of your time every hour. Making activity logs. You need to make realistic estimates of time spent during the day. Pinpoint critical areas. find the high yielding time of the day. When you make activity logs, is also known as DILO or daily logger. It's important in time management scheme of arrangement, because your DILO or your activity logs, if you do it diligently, will tell you at what point in time were you doing what, and if that was important or not. You know what interesting fact is that once you make your activity logs, you will realize the fact that most of the time is being spent doing nothing at all. You will see you're involved in useless activities. In a corporate environment, I've seen many a times there are a lot of people who are part of meetings who are not required to be there. They're silent spectators who are just doing nothing at all, but just sitting in that particular window, if it's a VC, or maybe in a room, quiet, probably waiting for the training to get over. So you need to decide for yourself if you want to be part of that training or not, or you want to be part of that meeting or not. If you don't want to be part of that meeting, or you're not required to be part of the meeting, and that'll come out from the daily activity log. If every day you're spending half an hour or 1 hour sitting in a meeting, which is actually not adding any value to you at all, in that given scenario, I would suggest that you should not be part of that meeting. You need to go walk up to your manager and say that I'm actually wasting my time, which means approximately around 22 working days. Out of 22 working days, we talk about 22 hours, which is almost one day, not working day. Actually, 3 working days, because it's 24 hours, or maybe 2.5 or so. You're wasting that time doing nothing. In that 2.5 days, you will be able to do a lot more. So you need to make sure you make activity logs diligently. It is very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to be honest with your time. But if you are not sharing it with anybody, I think you still can do that. You need to set goals, guys. Think about a situation: you walk out of a house, your mother screams or maybe asks a question, which is, "Where are you heading?" And your answer is, "I don't know." Have you ever been in that situation? Well, let me tell you a small story about Alice. If you've seen Alice in the Wonderland, he walks up to a frog seeing around 7 doors. She says, "Hey, Froggy, can you please help me with the right door?" Frog asks, where are you heading?" She says, "I don't know." Frog says, "Open any door. It's the wrong one for you." Because she didn't know where she's heading. So it doesn't matter which door you take. If you don't have a goal in place, any door that you're going to take is going to be a wrong door, because it's leading you to only one place, and that place is called nowhere. Hence, we need to set our goals. If you're not setting our goals right, or maybe for that matter, not even setting our goals, and they can be very small, realistic goals. And I'm not talking about 5 years plan. I'm not talking about 10 years plan. I'm talking about a day's goal. You know, lifetime goal is, yes, important, no second thought about it. But let's even talk about a day's goal, hourly goals, and that is what's going to eventually help you in achieving where, or reaching where you want to reach, and achieving what you want to achieve. So see, it says setting lifetime goals helps you chart your life course and your career. With a pen, if you are able to draw that on a piece of paper, you will be able to see it in black and white in front of you. You will be able to see your life journey, where it's heading. And that's when you need to break your lifetime goals into smaller goals. And then make daily to-do list based on those goals. To be able to achieve those goals, what is that you need to do? You want to be a pilot? Then you need to start flying. You need to get involved in studies. You need to understand what exactly you need to study to be able to be a pilot. Then you need to take some aviation and flying courses, etc. Lot many things. If you want to be a DJ, then you need to first of all find where you can actually learn it. Then enroll yourself. After enrolling, attend the classes. Once you attend the classes, then you need to buy a console for yourself. complete the certification, come back home, practice every day. That is your to-do list. So irrespective, you want to be a DJ, you want to be a disc jockey, you want to be a radio jockey, you want to be a corporate guy, you want to be a vice president, you want to be senior vice president, doesn't matter. It stands fair for everybody. It's about life. And then based on those goals or to-do list, judge your performance on a daily basis. Then nobody would be required to tell you if you're doing it right or wrong. Failing to plan is planning to fail. If you do not plan, you are planning to fail. Again, my question, which I posed earlier, which was with regards to when you walk out of the house, then do you walk out with the thought that you don't know where you're going? Where do you think you'll head? Nowhere. And that's where planning is required. So I'll give you an example. If I have to go from Delhi or maybe from Noida to Gurgaon, maybe Sector 5, the very first thing I need to do is I need to first of all check which car I need to take, which hour of the day I need to travel in. What will be the peak time for traffic? Should I travel during those hours or not? If yes, then which car do I need to take? I need to take a smaller car or a bigger car? A petrol car or a CNG car? Which is going to be more effective for me? If it's a high peak hour of traffic, then I probably pick up a CNG car. If it's a free flowing traffic, then I may not mind taking a petrol car. So, a whole lot of factors will influence which car we are taking, how I am commuting, how am I traveling. That is what planning is all about. You reach office in the morning and you have a hurdle. Before you get into a hurdle or a hurdle meeting, you need to plan your day. Today I'm going to do these many number of items on your checklist maybe, or the tasks given to you. You have your own work day, or maybe you have your own Jira where you get your tasks which are being allocated to you. You look at them one day before and then you give yourself some numbers and say, these are the number of tasks that I'm going to complete in time. So you can always change your plan, but only once you have a plan in place. When you skim through your plan the entire day, there is a possibility you may have to change it a little bit because of certain unforeseen circumstances, which is absolutely acceptable. But my point here is at least you would have a plan in place. You'll have a roadmap where you're heading, your trajectory you'll be able to see only when you plan it. Moving ahead from that, only when you plan, you'll be able to prioritize. Because you would be able to see the tasks only when you plan them. So when I go to office, I have been given a task by my subordinate, which means one of the junior guys who's not available today. They've given me a task, or maybe left it for me to kind of complete. There's a task given to me by my manager, and there's a task given to me by my managing director. Which one, according to you all, do you think that should I do first? You can write it in the comment section. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, your managing director. Whatever tasks your managing director has told you to be done, needs to be addressed. And it's because if a managing director is giving you a task, it has better be urgent and important. Otherwise, it will not come to you. So that's going to be the task that you're going to do the first. Then you're going to move into your manager's task, then you're going to move into your task. But then if you plan, during the process of planning, you would bake in some buffer time, which you'll use for this. That is how you plan. So there's a whole lot of training on planning and prioritizing, which you can always attend. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg right now through this training. Not really diving deep into the topics. Let's look at scheduling. Let's make realistic estimates of how much can you do. You would be able to understand it through your daily logger, which I mentioned, the daily tracking system or the dialo. And There you would be able to identify that if I was able to do these many number of things in this much time, then that means that to do one task I take this much time. That is how you're going to be able to calculate. And if you're able to calculate it this way, then you would know how to estimate your time, or your task for that matter. And then you can plan to make the best use of your available time at hand, and reserve some time for contingency or unexpected jobs. As I mentioned previously on the slide, that your managing director all of a sudden is giving you some work to be done. Minimize stress by avoiding commitment by yourself and others. So, folks, it is important to schedule. If you don't schedule well, uh, you can fail miserably. And this is the time management matrix, which is an urgent, important quadrant. Uh, and whenever you get time, just go through this quadrant. It's important. Quadrant one is urgent and important. Anything which is like a super, super duper important and urgent needs to be delivered right now. Any crisis, pressing problem, deadline driven project which needs to be completed right now, that is urgent and important. Then not urgent and important, relationship buildings. It is definitely important to build relationship, but not urgent. You can do it later. Finding a new opportunity, long-term planning, preventive actions, personal growth, recreation, all that is important. No second thought about it, but it's probably not urgent. You can do it in time. Quadrant 3 says not important but urgent. Interruptions. There are interruptions in between. Somebody walks up to you, asks you questions. Important. Your managing director walks up to you, asks you a question. Important. Email. Any email coming in from the HR team regarding something that needs to be done immediately. Important. Rather urgent. Calls, meeting, popular activities, proximate. In fact, there's an example that there's a yoga session happening right when you're working. It is urgent. That's what's been told to you. Probably not important for you, but needs to be done. You get involved in it. Trivia or busy work. That is quadrant 4. Time wasters, doing nothing, watching reels. That is what not urgent, not important is. But one thing which I would like to highlight that you need to remember and know is there is a possibility that the work allocated to you is not important and not urgent. But or for that matter, is something which is on uh, quadrant, I would say 2, which is it's important but not urgent. But there's a possibility by procrastinating because you haven't planned yet, you would end up picking it up and throwing it into urgent and important quadrant. Just because we procrastinate, we end up pushing it here. So that is also what you need to remember. By procrastinating, you can continuously keep moving quadrants and it'll end up landing in urgent important scenario, and then it'll be a pressing matter for you. So please understand this matrix, spend some time looking at your activities, plan and plot those activities on this quadrant. You would realize that there are a lot of activities which are urgent and important, and if that's the situation you're in, you're not managing your time well. So situation becomes odd if you don't manage time. So please make sure that you manage time effectively, folks. It is one of the most important and essential part of you being a corporate guy or a girl, or for that matter in your life as well. If you are a student, then you need to learn to be able to manage your time. If you do not respect your time is not going to respect you. So thank you so much for watching this video till now. So thank you so much for watching this video till now. We are going to conduct a lot of more sessions. This was just the tip of the iceberg that we ran you through. We have a lot of sessions that are coming up. I'm going to leave my WhatsApp number in the contact below. If you have any requirement, then we conduct a lot of sessions. We can get in touch, or you can get in touch with us, and we will respond, and we will make you part of the sessions that we conduct for public attendance. So there are a lot of sessions which are happening in the month of March. You are more than welcome to attend those sessions. So thank you so much for attending, folks. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, share, like, and comment. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get to know when I come up with new videos. Thank you so much. Happy learning.